Well, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream here. Um, I hope you guys are having a good day today. Just thought I would do another live stream. It's just like I said yesterday, I said that I was gonna do another one, so um, here I am again, gonna do another live stream. Wait for some people to pop in, but other than that, hope everybody's enjoying their day so far. Uh, let's check 1 minute here. Okay, so for some people, obviously, but 1 minute here. Sorry, y'all. Just 1 minute here. I'm trying to figure out something. Okay, 1 minute here. Okay, I was trying to figure out um, something here, but I think I could do it probably later. But hmm. But anyways, the topic today could be, like I said, whatever horror talk. Um, we could talk about whatever you all want. Honestly, I'm down. Like I said, I'm down to talk about. Like I said, as long as it's horror related, that's fine. Other genres, though, I don't really want to get like too deep into other genres, but we could talk about just horror movies. Um, and by the way, and um, Blumhouse, obviously, you guys know that Blumhouse is moving. They're going to make the Exorcist movies. They're making a new Exorcist movie that's going to probably come out probably sometime next year, I'm assuming, or probably in a couple years. But um, The Exorcist obviously is. I've never been a fan of The Exorcist, if I'm being honest. I just don't really get into it like some people. Um, I guess it's just not for me. But Blumhouse and James, the Blumhouse is moving. They're moving. They're trying to make The Exorcist, which that's why they kind of ended. That's why they. I think that's why Halloween Ends was so bad, was because of that. Like they were just like rushing. They're rushing Halloween Ends because they wanted to hurry up and make The Exorcist. So, but yeah, um, I've never been the biggest fan of the Exorcist movies as a whole. Just, I guess they're just not for me, so to speak. I get like it's just not for me, you know. I don't know what it is about it that's just not for me. It's just kind of weird. So, but that's just my, opinion, how I feel, I don't really get into it like that. Same with, Nightmare on Elm Street, which Nightmare on Elm Street's a pretty good film, but it's not, it's definitely not like, I'm not like a diehard fan of those films, but I do have the box set. I definitely do have the box set um, of those films. Um, a lot of people's got, mixed opinions about that. A lot of people like it. There's a lot of diehard fans of that franchise, and I like the franchise, don't get me wrong. I just I don't get into it as much as I do Scream, Halloween, Friday the 13th. You know what I mean? Like those are my top three right there. So it's just like Nightmare on Elm Street is. I mean, it's a pretty solid franchise if I'm, being honest. Obviously, part five, part six was kind of. I think it kind of went down the shitter. You know, the first one, the second one. A lot of people had a problem with the second one, which the second one was. I think the second one was pretty good, but I didn't really like the second one as. I mean, a lot of people hated the second one, but I didn't mind the second one. I thought the second one was pretty good. I thought the third one was kind of. I thought the third one was okay too, but then the fourth one kind of just went down and to the shitter, you know, for some people. For a lot of people, including me, like I felt like part five was kind of terrible. Like I thought that was, part five was definitely terrible. Part six, but the first one obviously that's a classic. I always loved that film. Um, Definitely a classic. And the second one, like I said, I mean, it's pretty decent. It's not like the greatest. Um, but yeah, the second, in terms of like sequels, I don't think it's like the greatest, sequel. Definitely think there's a lot more better sequels, than that. Obviously, Scream 2, uh, Friday the 13th Part 2, Child's Play 2, Halloween 2. So I don't know. I have mixed opinions about, the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Like, I like it, but then again, there's a lot of like cheesy moments in the movie, which like that's what you're gonna get with a lot of movies, There's just a lot of cheesy moments. Um, but I didn't mind it, you know. I certainly didn't like mind it, but not the biggest fan of it. Um, but as for like The Exorcist, okay, what I find a little weird is I I don't want to like mock anybody's like religion or anything. If anybody's like Catholic or something, or they go to church and are religious, and I don't want to like mock none of you guys, but I just find that movie. That's the part that I find weird. Like I don't know, it's just too weird. I guess for me, like I don't mind it. Like it's just weird that like the whole priest thing. I don't know. That's just I don't know, man. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings on that, or I'm not trying to mock anybody's like religion or anything. Those of you that are religious, I'm sorry, but I don't really find enjoyment in that. It's just, I don't know. It's just not for me, I guess. Um, but yeah, The Exorcist, I mean, it's definitely a classic, especially the very first one. But yeah, just never been a fan. I would say I like Nightmare a little bit, probably a little bit more if I'm being honest. Um, that's just me though. But there's a lot of great slashers out there for sure. A lot of underrated ones, which the most underrated slasher that does not get talked about. Okay, I'm gonna talk about basically the slashers that I don't really talk about as much and ones that I don't really care for. Okay, so Exorcist, if you would have considered that to be a slasher, I think it's more of like a horror movie. Obviously, I don't care for that. Y'all know that. I just talked about it, but another one I didn't really care for was like Pinhead, like the Hellraiser franchise, which I don't really talk about that as much. I don't really get into that as much. It's just a little bit too over the top for me. Like I don't know, the look of Pinhead just looks kind of stupid. It just looks a little too weird for me. Like um, I don't know. It's just that film has never been for me either. Like I just never really got into it. Um, and another film that I never really got into is Jeepers Creepers, which okay, I mean it's a horror movie, yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's weird because it's about some guy that flies. He's got wings. Like I don't know. It's just like it's just too kind of corny to me. Like you know, so I don't know. It's just not for me, I guess. But the Halloween franchise, is always the Halloween franchise is always going to be good. Always the greatest. Um, People consider that to be the greatest, which I want to hear from you guys. Obviously, I'm still waiting for some people to get in, but um, Halloween is definitely one of the greats, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, I think Halloween is one of the greats. Scream's up there in that category, obviously. Friday the 13th. Um, and yeah, those are the top three, I believe. Like, it's Halloween. Well, in my ranking, because this is like the way I like what I think, all right? And this is just what I prefer. Well, I prefer Scream, number one, number two, Halloween, and then Friday the 13th, number three. And just because, like I said, for those reasonings, I talked about it many times already. Just the humanly aspect of Scream, just the whodunit factor of Scream. It's just it makes it so unique because there's no other films like it. But the Halloween films are they basically can't die. Like Jason can't die, Michael can't die, so it's kind of like it's the one killer like the whole time. So Scream is like different killers, like in every movie. Like it's not just one killer. It's like more humanly. So that's why it's basically like. But doesn't mean I hate Halloween or anything like that. Halloween's always my favorite. You know what I mean? But a lot of people like think that horror should be more like more about supernatural, ability. Like horror, people think that horror should be about like the killer, oh, he can't die, he could keep coming back. Like people like Jason, like how he can't die. People think horror should be like that. Like everybody should be like supernatural, you know? But me, I just kind of lead toward the like horror could really be anything, you know? Like Scream is a humanly, it's got a humanly aspect to it. So, um, like Child's Play is a pretty good film, which obviously, Chucky can't die either. He comes back. So, okay, it's like Hellraiser, it's like Pinhead, Freddy. Um, so it's Pinhead, Freddy, Michael Myers, Jason, and Chucky. Those are the main horror villains that come back that don't die whatsoever. Leatherface, I'm kind of a little bit like I don't know about Leatherface. I don't know if he could die or not. It's a little confusing. I think that he can die, but I'm not 100%. Because obviously they make more. Kept on making movies, so I don't know if he could die. I'm assuming he can't, but I'm not 100% on that. But he's definitely one of those, horror villains that don't get talked about, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, which those films are pretty, I think those films are pretty underrated, to say the least. Like, they don't get talked about. I think the first one, I think it's 1974. I think that was like the very, very first one, like, which that one was, and people don't like people, and it took time for me to realize it, but I realized that Leatherface is or was like the first like horror villain like before Michael Myers, before like Freddy, before Jason. Like so I forgot about that because yeah, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw, the first Texas Chainsaw came out in 1974, and then after that Halloween came out in 1978. So Leatherface is like really like the first like ever like horror villain like that came out like before Michael, before Freddy, Jason, Chucky, Ghostface, obviously. So that's actually pretty interesting. Um, the new Texas Chainsaw movie, the 2022 one, wasn't. I mean, it wasn't all that good to be honest. I didn't really like it. It was just too cheesy. I wish that it like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think 3D was probably one of. I would say that movie was pretty underrated. I mean, the look of Leatherface in that movie. Um, I like that mask. And that's the problem that I had with the new one that they kind of shied away from the mask. a little bit and kind of made it this weird ass, like, I don't even know what to call it. Like, that made his mask, his look, just look absolutely weird. And I kind of wish they would have kept that whole, like that 3D mask, like, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake in 2003. Like that one. You know what I mean? That mask right there was perfect. Like the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like that was that movie's one of the best, probably Texas Chainsaws that I've ever watched. Like, um, one of the best. Obviously, 1974. It's obviously going to be. It's obviously the best, but I think 2003, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre of 2003 was one of the best. Like, just the looks of Leatherface in that movie, like the mask. Like, I wish they would have just rolled with that. That's just the way. Like 1974, that mask. Just the way he looks. It's just like with any other horror villain, like Michael Myers, right? He's had the same mask for since 1977, right? Or 1978, excuse me, right? Freddy Krueger's had the same look. Jason's had the same look. Um, Ghostface's had the same look. So Chucky, well, obviously Chucky, they obviously did a remake, but that's a little different. They kind of changed the look a little bit, but that's because they were doing a remake. Um, but yeah, it's just like the Hawk of Leatherface didn't keep his same look. They just made his mask look all weird. So that's basically like my problem with it. Like the new one, they just made the mask a little too weird. Should have just kept it the same because it's iconic. You know, just like the Ghostface mask. If they were to change that, I would be disappointed. Like because the mask, the Ghostface mask, is iconic. There's just no need to change it. You know, just like changing Jason's mask. Jason's mask. Michael Myers. So I don't know. That's just me though. Like I think a horror villain should always have the same look. Um, and I'm gonna get to it here too. Like the MTV Scream franchise or the MTV Scream TV series. Like there's a reason. I had a problem with that mask. You know, a lot of people say, well, they were trying to get the rights but couldn't, or they couldn't get the rights to use the original Ghostface. Yeah, I understand that. Like, I understand that they were trying to get the rights but couldn't get the rights. But at the same time, why even make a Scream TV series if you know that even knowing that you weren't able to get the rights? That's just the whole purpose of Scream. You name it Scream, to have obviously the mask in the show, right? So that's just kind of my problem with it, but I understand. Yeah, they couldn't get the rights. That's what I'm hearing, and they decided to make their own. I guess it's whatever, but at the same time, it's just like that mask just looks. It looks too much like I would say like Leatherface, kind of like a Leatherface mask, or like that mask like from Hush. Like it just looks too weird. It looks just like it's just like plastic. Looks nothing like Ghostface. Like it looks like a rain outfit. Like it looks weird. So I just don't. I never liked that mask. I never liked that idea. I never supported that mask. As y'all know that I don't like that mask. Um, the Brandon James mask, like it's just I don't know, too weird, you know. And I understand, yeah, they couldn't get the rights, but you know, it wouldn't have hurt, you know, for them to try to keep trying, you know. But I guess it is what it is. As long as they don't bring that mask in like a real movie. Now, if they brought it in a real movie, that's definitely going to be, you know, a problem. I think, anyways. Um, but yeah, that's basically, like I said, you know, certain stuff like that. It's like changing Jason's mask. It's like changing Michael Myers' mask. It's like changing the look of Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean? Like it just wouldn't look right because it's just the iconic look. They've always had that look. Ghostface has always had the, you know, the same look. Michael Myers has had the same look. Yeah, it's just. And then another thing that I kind of want to talk about as well. You know, people out there saying that, which everybody's got their own like opinion about certain stuff. Of course, people are going to agree with what you say, but some people are going to disagree. So, and I understand that, but like a lot of people were out here defending the show, you know, like obviously the first like four seasons, anyways, which were downright just garbage in my eyes. I'm not sure I understand that people have got their own opinions, but that's just me personally. Like, I just don't like the show. I think, okay, at least they put effort. I will say this. At least they put effort into, you know, bringing back the mask, you know, in I think season five or season six. At least they try, you know, at least they brought the mask back, you know, the original. But still, even if they were going to fight for the rights later on, like, how come they didn't fight for the rights when they had the chance? You know what I mean? Like, how could they fight for the rights from the beginning, you know, before they even, you know, that's basically just my overall problem. Um, like I say, oh, well, we couldn't get the match. Okay. Fight harder then, you know, just fight harder to try to get it. I mean, you called this you called this TV show Scream. So people are expecting to see the iconic, you know, Ghostface mask, you know, in the show. And I understand, yeah. I applaud them for like going their own route and doing something different. To try not to copy the movies, you know? And I, you know, applaud that. But what I don't applaud is that they didn't try their best. Like, even if they couldn't get the rights, they should have tried their best, like to at least try to put a little bit more effort into trying to get the rights. You know, it's just like, you know, that mask that they came up with is just god awful, man. I just can't stand looking at it. Like I'm sure Wes Craven was disappointed too. Like that mask was just absolutely just ridiculous. Looked nothing like Ghostface whatsoever. Like it was literally just plastic. That's all it was. So that's just my opinion on that. A lot of people like it though. A lot of people, which I respect. A lot of people got, hey, that's just me though. I just don't. I don't. It's just not for me, I guess. Um, I much prefer like the original, Ghostface mask. The mask that we see. What Ghostface is. You know what I mean? Like his look. Like in the movies. Like, but yeah. Um, but I'm gonna kind of change the topic a little bit here. Um, talk about a little bit about Scream 7 and whatnot. Craving something scary was actually telling me that Jenna Ortega may not be in Scream 7, I think he said, which is very, very interesting. I didn't know that at all. Uh, it's going to be very interesting if she doesn't end up being in the movie. But I'm not I don't know what direction they would go, without her in the movie, honestly. Um, but I wonder why. I wonder what's going on to the point where she may not be in the movie though. Like, I wonder what's going on with that because that's kind of weird. Hopefully, it's not like a money issue because we all know what they did to Nev Campbell. So, but yeah, it's gonna be disappointing, if she ends up not being in it. Especially for the trilogy, it would kind of be it'd be disappointing, and especially it would be even more disappointing if it was like overlay money or something, which I hope that's not the case because that's what happened with Nev. Nev Campbell didn't get her money, that she was worth, and they didn't give her what she was worth. Um, that's the real reason why she wasn't in, Scream 6. And that just upsets me, thinking about that. Like, that money was the reason, you know? Wait for some people to get in here still. Obviously, I haven't seen anybody yet, but it's going to be kind of my own little world, I guess, for a little bit longer. Just kind of talk about, Scream 7 for a little bit and transition over to probably talking about more about Halloween, I guess. But yeah, I I'm very excited for Scream 7. This is going to be the trilogy. And I don't know like if this is going to be the actual like last film that Radio Silence is going to be making, or if they're going to keep continuing. Um, because this is going to be a trilogy, so I'm assuming that this movie's probably going to be more than likely going to be the last part for a while. Um, and they'll probably make another one later down the line, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to be done because obviously you guys remember that Scream 3 was supposedly going to be the last. It was going to be the last movie. Um, the last Scream movie the last Scream movie, like Scream 3 was going to be the last one. Like they weren't going to make anymore. They had no plans on making anymore. And then 10 years later, Wes Craven, wanted to bring it back. So he decided to make another one 10 years later. So, but yeah, I don't know if they're going to go with that timeline. Say, hey, we're going to make this trilogy and then this is going to be it. Or maybe they may not make another one. Maybe they'll just end it there. And I could totally see that, too. But also, it could be like the same situation with Scream 3 where people thought that was going to be the last, but then 10 years later they decide, I think we want to make another one. You know what I mean? But who really knows? It seems like that's what timeline they're going with. They're going with what Wes Craven did. You know, 1996, obviously Scream, the first Scream came out, and then a year later, Scream 2 came out, and then after that, 2 years after, Scream 3 came out. So a lot of people are speculating: is this movie going to come out 2 years and 2 years, or another like 3 years? I think it will come out probably in another. We'll probably have to wait a couple years if I'm being honest, like because that's how long it took for Scream 3 to be made. So I think they're going to go with that. What Wes Craven did there. I strongly believe that. But Scream 7 should be a pretty good film though overall. Like especially if we get that big return. Stu. Um, but yeah, the rumors about Nev Campbell coming back. Obviously, something that could be very well possible. Um, and let's just say like all this was basically like a joke, right? Let's just say like all this was like a joke, and everyone that it was basically like all a hoax, like the whole money situation. All right, I'm not saying that it was because it most definitely wasn't. I know probably more than likely it wasn't. Like it was legitimate. Like, but I'm just saying like what to say if it was a hoax, but to kind of get us speculating about a Scream 7. And then maybe she just ends up being in it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Kind of like the Andrew Garfield situation. But that's what I thought about, Scream 6. But it turned out that she wasn't legitimately like in it. Um, so obviously that, whatever happened, with the money situation, that really happened. I don't think it was like a hoax or anything. Like, but I don't know if it's like a distraction, for Stream 7, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, there's a lot of, theories about what this film could be, Cole possibly being in this film, possibly getting four killers, possibly, getting, that return. And by no means am I saying like 100% that I'm not saying he's gonna come back, but I sure do hope so. Like, and it sure does seem like that's the way that they've been. Seems like they've been leaning towards, the Stu return. But, and I'm just gonna say this, like, if it's not Stu, it's definitely either somebody related to him, or it's somebody that is basically somebody that we don't know that did the killings before Billings Stu. So that that's all I got to say about that. So a lot of people are speculating about Leslie Mocker, which that's always a possibility as well. Leslie Mocker makes a lot of sense. Um, Leslie Mocker, I think, makes like a lot of sense. Bill Loomis's father, like, where has he been? People say Sidney Prescott's dad passed away in between 3 and 4. So, um, what's up, Blucka? How you doing, man? Thank you for popping in. How's this going live here? He says Batman. But yeah, thank you for popping in. It's going pretty good, man. Just thought I would go live. Obviously, I went live yesterday. I went live for the past couple days, actually. Um, but yeah, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good as well. It's on the top of, of Scream right now and Halloween as well. But yeah, so that's just my biggest thing, like if it's not Stu, it's definitely somebody that we don't know that did the killings before Billy and Stu. Somebody that absolutely we do not know. Two franchises that need to die tonight. So you actually saying that Scream, they should quit making Scream, they should quit making Halloween because well, you might get your wish, I guess. Scream 7 could be the last Scream film. A lot of people feel like that about Halloween as well. Just because, the way that Michael had died at the end, people were upset that when they heard the news about it, about another one coming back. Like, a lot of people have a problem with that because they don't feel like um, they feel like he's dead, that he died from that. Like, he got thrown down, he got cut up. You know what I mean? So a lot of people have a problem with that, which I understand that, but at the same time, studios make a lot of money, off of these franchises, and I just don't think there's gonna be a day where we're gonna see like the end. there could be a point where we don't see it for a while, but they really didn't need Scream for infants. You couldn't really do without. Yeah, I agree with that somewhat because I felt like Scream should have been like Scream 3. Like a lot of people were saying that, well, that should have been the last one. People were saying they shouldn't have made a 4, they shouldn't even made a 5, whatnot. But at the same time, I didn't really mind that because it's Scream. It's Scream, I'm a fanboy. I just can't help it. I'm a fanboy, and I can't live without another Scream movie. I'm sorry. Like, same with Halloween, I can't live without that. Like, I have to have another one. Somebody's got to keep it going for me because, especially for all the other fans, boys out there too, Like, that's just me though. Like, man, I don't know what I would do if they just quit making Scream and Halloween. Halloween feels like they've shown every side of Michael Edwards. So what do we need other than anti-hero? Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, Halloween Ends was never. It was never about Michael. And the way he died, obviously was just disappointing. But a lot of people have a problem with the whole, which you all know. You know that I hate the um. I hate Halloween Ends. You've heard me talk about it. That I hated Corey. I hated everything about Corey. That he was just thrown in the movie, for no reason, and the movie wasn't about Michael like whatsoever. I mean, it was a Halloween movie. It's a Halloween movie, and it wasn't about Michael. It was about some Corey guy. A lot of people take that and say, well, they shouldn't make another one because the trilogy or whatever was just trash. Like, yeah, I understand. But at the same time, they're going to be going their own, they're going to be doing a new timeline. So, and people are saying that, but maybe Michael's spirit could transition into somebody else. But uh, I don't know about all that. I think just doing a whole new timeline makes a lot of sense other than doing like a follow up, you know, like doing like a follow up of Halloween Ends. Like, I don't want that. I just want them to do a whole new timeline. And nothing wrong with being a fanboy. I think it's just weird for me because I grew up Friday the 13th, being understanding and guilty of pleasure content because it overall is the average. Yeah, yeah. I just can't help it, man. Like, Scream is just my favorite. Halloween's my favorite, one of my favorites. Friday the 13th is, my third, you know, and quite frankly, I'm disappointed that we haven't seen it, a Friday the 13th movie in a while, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just disappointing. It would just be disappointing for me. Me being a fanboy, of Scream, like a diehard fan of Scream, a diehard fan of Michael, of the Halloween films. It's just, I don't know, it'd just be kind of hard for me for them not to just, for them to just quit making it. You know what I mean? Like, because you basically have to just watch like fan films, which I guess I don't really mind that. I don't mind watching, fan films, but it's much better, I guess, when it's like more of like a licensed film, And that is what most films feel like nowadays. The Friday the 13th barely changed the formula. Anything. Yeah. Oh, but people are Jason. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the thing is about that is that the lawsuit obviously, ruined that. And obviously Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know what's going on. I heard that there's a rights issue with that as well, but um, yeah, Friday the 13th has been dealing with a lawsuit for quite a little bit, and it's crazy that we haven't seen a movie since 2009. We basically gotta, watch all these fan films, which, I don't really mind. I don't mind watching fan films because I love fan films. They're well done. A lot of these, young, up and coming, directors, uh, are just good at what they do. Like like some fan films are like makes you think it's a real film. They're so well done, like it makes you think that it's a real film. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't mind fan films, but it's always better when it's like official, like I said, officially like licensed. But I do love fan films. We just overly rate movies nowadays. It feels hard to say any screenplay or any return franchise could ever be considered close to the originals, and they really change anything. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. But like for example, after Scream 1996, Scream 2 would be a 5 out of 10 until it proved what it brought to Scream. The average content obviously we have less than. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. It seems like the newer films are just like I'm a Scream fanboy, as I said, but a lot of the new films are just not as good to me as the originals. Same with the Halloween film. New Halloweens, were they're not as good as the originals in my eyes. Shit, I'll even say that Halloween Ends. I would even say that like I like Rob Zombie's films over Halloween Ends because at least Michael was in those movies. At least he was killing in those movies. It wasn't some random person, you know, doing the killings like with him. It's not like he had a partner in those movies, you know. So, and also, I think Halloween 3 is overall probably the worst like franchise or the worst movie in the franchise. But because he wasn't in it at all, but so you got to give, I guess you got to give Ends a little credit because at least he was in it for 10 minutes. If what would you rather have? Would you rather watch a movie with Michael in it or Michael not in it? I would take the 10 minutes of Michael any day over like not seeing him at all. Like Halloween Ends is not a good film. Still, as more movies come out, it should be harsher on reproducing the same content. Yeah, I agree with that. I get it. The personal preference of people may vary with love screen sex more than the rest. Yeah, I agree with everybody. Everybody's got their own preference. Everybody's, got their own what they like. And if they feel like Scream Six is better than the originals, hey, that's what they believe and what they feel. But me personally, no, I don't feel like that at all. Like I always say, like the originals are always better, than the new ones. Because it's Wes Craven. It's Wes Craven. He was always A plus. So weird things that bother me about kills and then there directing errors. Yeah, and I also think that Ends was like rushed. Ends was like rushed. Like they were obviously transitioning. So what happened was, I think, was they were thinking too hard about The Exorcist, which because that's the movie that they're moving to, the movie that they're going to be making is The Exorcist. So they decided, to rush this film and so they could move on and go to make The Exorcist. Like that's what I really think. Like they didn't put no effort into the film, into this trilogy. Like, they had no backstory. They couldn't think of a story, you know? Like so they just rushed it. And that's why it was the way it was. Because they were too worried about making The Exorcist. So that's what happens when you rush. When you rush films, you know, the film is not going to be a good film. So for end, what really bothers me and going to make you laugh when they carry Michael and the junkyard everywhere. This was bad asking him to do anything. Exactly. That yeah. When they're all carrying Michael. They throw him into that machine or whatever. Like that's just fishy on itself. Like Michael would not allow all these people to carry him. Like in Halloween Kills, he killed like how many people at once? He killed like over 10 people at once. Like, which that scene was a little weird too, that they were all beating him up. But still, I mean, he would have killed. Yeah, I just don't see Michael just taking that. Scenes like that are the gears what really threw me off. And I don't know why exactly. Like, those are a lot of just director. It's just bad writing, bad storytelling too, and it was just completely rushed. Like, put no care into the story whatsoever. Just thought we're thinking too much about the Exorcist. Like, Corey just killed 5 people, and then no one saw a single dead body. I know he did most of the killings in the movie. That's just another. That's the problem with it. It's a Halloween movie. You're there to see Michael. You're there to see the character. It's a Halloween movie because you want to see Michael Myers does what he does best, or do you want to see him do what he does best? Excuse me. Like you want to see him do what he does. Like in the other films, you're there to see the character, you're not there to just see some other character, some person that we don't know. Sorry, I can't talk. Uh, I messed my words up there for a minute. Uh, I'd rather see, it's a Halloween film for a reason. Like you're there to see Michael, you're paying to see Michael, and if he's not in the movie, he's only in the movie for like what, like 10 minutes. Like it's absolutely just ridiculous to me. Like he's in there for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. A Halloween film with Michael in it only for 10 minutes. Like, and we don't even see Lori that much either. Like they only fought like one time at the end. Like seriously. Melissa Barrera joined another horror project about dating shows. Oh, yep, I seen that. I seen that she joined. She's doing another project. Um, she's a great actress. I wish her the best. See, Halloween Ends is the best perfect example of a fan that could have been a standalone out of the franchise, but they had no faith and slept in Halloween. Yep, exactly. People think that Rob Zombie slapped on it. I think Blumhouse slapped on it even more, like worse than what Rob Zombie had did. You know, Halloween 2018 was obviously better. Out of the two, I prefer that over Halloween Kills and Ends, which Halloween Kills I would say is a little better. It's a little better than Ends. I'd pick that over Ends any day. For the same thing about the screen, you could say RG characters didn't need to. The screen time movement could have been but they really wanted to use screen there. Yeah, I could understand that. Like I felt like, Scream 5, I think Scream 6 was a step up for the most part. Scream 5 was just a mediocre film. Like I just don't like it as much. I don't totally hate it. I just don't think it's a Scream film. I don't think it's a good, like a perfect Scream film. Like, you know, no chase scenes, bad character development all around. They decided to, kill Dewey off, and it just seemed like they just brought him back just to kill him. So that's just the way I looked at it. But I guess you got to move on, I guess, from the old, move on to the new, I guess. That's what people always say. Could have been done a lot better than that, but if you follow each character individually in 5 steps, they actually repeat key moments over and over and over again. In a different show. Yep, exactly. Scream 5, they rehashed that moment in Scream 1996 where Randy was sitting on the couch and Ghostface, the killer, was behind him. And they rehashed that same scene, like in Scream 5, which, like, I understand, yeah, you're showing tribute to Wes Craven, which I understand, but doesn't mean that you copy everything from Scream 1996. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they basically did. I feel, I felt, anyways. And then Scream 6 obviously had some, similar moments to, Scream 2. Didn't totally copy it, but had some similar moments, I would say. The only thing that changes is they introduce a new character called Core 4. And people love the dynamic of the four together, but don't realize when they split characters, revert back to themselves. Yep, yeah, because what they're trying to really do, and this is just my theory, and a lot of people don't really like what I had to say, really, when I say it, but I really think that they were trying to end the old, like, because why would they bring back, okay, like, why would they bring back Dewey when they could have just let the old alone, didn't have to bring the old back at all, like, okay, like I understand, yeah, we want to see Sydney, we want to see Gail, we want to see the OGs in another Scream film. But at the same time, after a while, it's just like they could have done it a lot better. And then they brought David Arquette in the movie, and then obviously Sydney and Gail, but the way they did David Arquette, something that just disappoints me. Just the way they approached him. Like I said about the whole situation, about killing him off, like it was just it could have been done a lot better, and I don't. That's why they should have just left him alone, honestly. I felt like, but people say that about even Scream 3 should have been Sydney's last film, and I kind of agree with that because the way the door opened, at the end of Scream 3, just the way that the door opened by itself, basically giving us, that goodbye, like just fit that to me. But I mean, watch Melissa. Yeah, I mean, Melissa did pretty good. I mean, she did. She's a pretty good actress. Same with Jenna Ortega. But I get what you're saying. That, like these new movies are just they're not as good as the original. And this is just because it's a new era now. And a lot of these a lot of these movie companies are just about the money. Not saying they weren't back then. They were, but it's like I think it's like way worse now. Like she said with the killer racist shave Tara doesn't want her. Switch from good gets attacked, gets many people two people die. Teens with Gale, someone I know. It's just absolute it's crazy. Across town to save them involve an elevator and going over the stab. Final killer. Across the town and final yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's my only problem with it. Like, it's not the only problem. Like, if they would have just said, hey, we're just gonna leave the OG alone. We're gonna go on with the new. We're gonna go out there. Like, I did. It was cool to see Sydney and Gail back and all, and David Arquette. But after a while, like, it just like, why bring them back if you were just gonna end them anyways? Like, there could have been a better way to do it. You know what I mean? You could have just said, we're just gonna leave him alone. We're just gonna go on with the new, and they don't have to be involved or you know what I mean? Like you don't have to totally kill off a character just to to move off the old. Like that's just that's just my opinion though. I don't think you have to kill a character to get to move off the old necessarily. Like it is literally Screen 5 redone and Screen 6. Yep. And basically I think Scream 6 is basically like the same style, but I like Scream 6 a lot more than Scream 5 because at least they brought back, the chase scenes, you know. But is the Scream Six a good film? Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, it's a good film, but is it perfect? No, absolutely not. Definitely better than Scream Five, though. It's almost an identical order with the order filter see change between the two films. Just enough so people don't notice. It's the exact same film in different locations. Yeah, it's basically like the same style. That's what you're gonna get when you get Radio Silence. You know, people that made Scream Five, of course, they're going to make the next one kind of like similar style. I haven't seen this level of copy since the Batman, which copied Nolan's discarded script. Oh, they copied that script. That's Chad starts off joking, sticks up in the girl, continues shaking, yeah, while joking, setting him up as the heart. Overly stabbed, thought dead, and finally stretched out. It's the same. It is the same in both. Yeah, it is. It's kind of like they're kind of copying like the OGs, like the original OGs. Like okay, like Sydney, like Gail, like Dewey, like Randy. You know what I mean? It seems like that they're trying to copy like okay, like Sam's basically like your new Sydney. Chad is like the new Dewey. Um, Mindy's like the new Randy. And Tara, I don't really know what she is. Maybe the new Gale. I'm playing. I don't know, maybe. But I think she's more of like a final girl too. But it's just a weird, It's just like, why can't you just go your own direction? Why do you got to make like these characters similar to the old, like to the originals? Like, how come you just can't just say, we're just gonna go our own direction to make our own characters, our own way instead of copy and pasting Wes Craven's characters. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like it's weird, to be honest. I don't think you understand what I said. When I listed up all the stuff I'm saying, Screw Five both have said up to. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. People don't realize the lazy. Oh no, I know it is really lazy. It's really lazy. It's lazy writing, just pure laziness. That's all it is. I mean, Scream Five is the worst, probably Scream film that I've ever watched. Like, it's just like, yeah, of course I'm gonna watch it because it's a Scream film. But what's weird about it is that Judy Hicks is in the movie, but she didn't even interact with Dewey like at all, which that is weird. That's just weird out itself too. Like they didn't even interact like once. And then on top of that, no chase scenes. It's just uncreative. It's not good. Curry gets stabbed in the same spot she died, but lives on top of fire damage and also kills someone else too. Yeah, no, it's crazy. She basically got stabbed where she got stabbed before her. I want someone to edit down screen shares and remove all the content to see how wide it felt. Yeah, I don't mind Scream Six though. Like I said, I think it's a good film overall. Of course, it's not like perfect. It's the same style like Scream Five. Scream Five is the only one that I really had a problem with because no chase scenes, no nothing, and then the whole Dewey thing. Just the way he died. Okay, like I said, I don't have a problem with the way he died. I just have a problem, or I don't have a problem that he died. I have a problem the way he died. That's the only problem that I have. The fact that he was basically walking in the elevator and he just all of a sudden just turns around. He shoots Ghostface, he walks towards the elevator with Sam, Tara, and Richie, right? And then he turns around and is like, "You got to shoot him in the head." Like what? Like no, that's not Dewey's character. I'm sorry. Dewey's character would have shot him in the head immediately. Like he would have immediately shot him. Like in the head when he had the chance, as opposed to going walking towards the elevator and then saying, "Oh, I got to go back." Like, come on now, it's absolutely ridiculous. People say, "Well, it matches his character because the pizza and Scream Two getting distracted." Like Scream Three, him falling down the stairs, him missing, gunshots, him not shooting Roman in the head right away. It's just, it's crazy. Even though he didn't know how to shoot Roman, even though Sidney had to tell Dewey to shoot Roman in the head, he still should have known how to shoot somebody in the head. Okay? Like, that's just my opinion, Like, he would have immediately he would have immediately knew how to shoot him in the head after, even if Sidney had told him. It doesn't matter. He would have known. Like, he was a police officer. He would have known to shoot somebody in the head when he had the chance. You know what I mean? So that's just, for him to go back the way he did was just, it was it wasn't right. It was just a slap to the face. It was a slap, slap to the face to the dude character. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely just ridiculous. I think it might be less than 30 minutes of the film. Yeah, there are so many things wrong with Scream 5 or 6, but everyone calls it nitpick. Yeah, there's everything wrong with it. Like, Scream 5, like I said, I find Scream 6 a little bit better than Scream 5, but Scream 6 is still low on my list. Like, it's not like it's up there, like, with, like, Scream 3, Scream 2, Scream 1996, or Scream 4. It's still down there on my list, but I put it up above Scream 5. But doesn't mean that's good. Still, I mean, it's got its problems, of course, but definitely way better. Definitely, better than Scream 5. So that it's just like, what was Radio Silence thinking in that moment? Just the way they approached Dewey and that whole situation was just, or David Arquette, excuse me. Um, it's absolutely just wrong. It was wrong, man. Like, should have approached them in a better way than that. Like, I just feel like horror fans have a checklist for how I should watch each movie. Like, they shouldn't be surprised if the movies don't win awards. Yeah, I always thought that movie, like horror movies, should always get always have like an Oscar, award event. Like, I always thought that the one genre that I always thought that should have that is horror. Like, that's the only genre that needs that. Like, they need to have like Oscars for like horror movies and all that. Like, but yeah, it's just I can go on and on about the Dewey situation, in Scream 5. It was just absolutely ridiculous the way that was done. Like, come on, you really think that Dewey, even though he stepped in the pizza, like I said, it just, and even though he didn't know how to shoot Robin in the head, Sidney told him, so he did it. But still, I mean, he would have known even if Sidney had to tell him, he would have known. Like, is this? I don't know. I felt like it was lame, and then on top of that, he walked back the gun. He's pointing at Ghostface. The phone rings, and he gets distracted by the phone. Like, what? He gets distracted by the phone? Like, are you serious? And then he gets killed? Like, I don't know. It should have been done way better. I felt like it should have been done better than that. Like, I just feel like horror fans have a checklist for how I should watch each movie, which means they shouldn't be surprised if the movies don't win awards. Yeah, it's creativity. You really think that's creativity, dude? Because I don't think that's creativity at all. I think that's actually I think that's stupidity. I think it is. Radio Silence was coming up with stupidity, like, in that scene. Not just that scene, and then that scene also when Dewey was in the trailer. When Dewey was in the trailer, obviously he was living in a trailer, right? How does Sam automatically know where he lived? Explain that. Like, how does Sam know like where he lived? Like, you know what I mean? She just all of a sudden knew. Oh, let's go. Oh, we could go somewhere. Uh, I know somebody that could help. And all of a sudden, she shows up at Dewey's house randomly. Like, so it's just weird, dude. Like, no, I don't. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it's creativity. Like, I was gonna say, I don't think so. I just don't have enough letters to explain the problems with Hollywood. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with Hollywood, you know? A lot of greedy movie companies as well, greedy with their money. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's why I felt like, that Radio Silence is really trying hard to end the old, trying to destroy the old so they can prop up all of these new characters that they have. That's just what I always felt, especially the way they did Dewey. Like, people disagree with me, but I just felt like he was done dirty. Like, you know, I just felt like he was done dirty. Radio Silence has nothing to do with this. Their pawns. Yeah, exactly. They don't have nothing to do with it. It's mostly like the movie studios, like like Paramount. The studios that, Paramount is in control of like who gets paid, like what. So it's mostly, Paramount. People need to remember Radio Silence said in the Airbnb. You had to see in the writer's room. Yeah, yeah, that's very, very interesting. Because I know Paramount has a lot to do with obviously a lot of with the money, like I said, and Spyglass, like you said, probably. I don't know does Spyglass have something to do with the writing room? Like they get to float ideas, but at the end of the day, they just translate what Spyglass wrote to do. Yeah, basically, and it's just not creative. A lot of these movie studios just ain't creative. Um, it's absolutely ridiculous. Hollywood is just terrible nowadays, I guess. Especially with that Star Wars movie, which I don't want to get too far off topic here, but Star Wars was absolutely terrible. All right, especially that one where the Emperor coming back and whatnot. That was just for pure fan service, like because he clearly got killed by Darth Vader. I mean, we got to be real. Spyglass owns the rights to Scream. Paramount is marketing team and distributor. Lionsgate is a 20% investor, and Warner Brothers, some other billion-dollar company, own another 29%. So Scream is funding the winners company. I don't know how anyone can think it's profitable. Yeah, yeah. I always thought that Paramount had something to do with the money. Um, and obviously Lionsgate is in investors. They're like the investors, and also Warner Bros. Yeah, it's absolutely just ridiculous. But I think Paramount was the main problem, behind Nev Campbell, the Nev Campbell thing. Like, it wasn't radio silence or anything. It was the studio, like itself. It's fitted the brothers already in different ways. I don't know how it was exactly. People say Screen Sing blew away the box office, but they increased budget by 1 million and marketing. I know. That's kind of funny that people actually say that. It blew that away, but I think it made way more than Screen 5. Hell of a lot more than Screen 5. But yeah, it's just like, it's ridiculous, like a lot of these movies should have been done a lot better, in my opinion. But nonetheless, I'm a Scream fan. I'm always going to be a Scream fan. I'm just trying to, speak the truth as much as possible, you know, the way I feel, anyways. But yeah, Halloween Ends did terrible, Hollywood is terrible on itself, I guess. Um, a lot of people, are kind of concerned because I don't know about Friday the 13th or anything like that, but a lot of people were really concerned that they were going to do, that they're going to, you know, make the Friday the 13th, movie bad. Like it's probably going to be, like people think it's going to be like a bad, like film, if they make another one, like people think it's going to be this, like another copy and paste, like basically like a remake of the originals and all that, which I have a problem with. Um, and I can totally see that because that's just the way Hollywood is. Just the way Hollywood is, I guess, Sean. It just wouldn't surprise me if they just. Okay, sorry if I disappear here. I cleaned it. Oh, no worries, man. I'll still be here for a little bit longer, so no worries about that. But yeah, um, so yeah, that's so a lot of people's concerns mainly is that they're just gonna like the Friday the 13th title. They're really concerned that it's not gonna be a creative title. Like it's just gonna be, um, let's say like Friday the 13th, 2023. That's it. Friday the 13th, 2024, 2025. Like they're not even gonna even name it nothing. Basically, like like Halloween 2018, Halloween End, Halloween Kills. You know, people find that to be like people think that's just what they're gonna do. Like they're not even gonna call it. They're just gonna call it, like I said, Screen 2022 or Friday the 13th, 2024 or something like that, or 2025, right? Then the next one will probably be Friday the 13th, like Kills or something. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be creative. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be there's gonna be nothing there's not gonna be anything creative about it, like, and that's just the way it is today, I guess. Like with Scream. Like, how come they didn't call Scream 5 Scream? How could they call Scream 2022 Scream 5? They should have just called it Scream 5 if they were going to call Scream 6 anyways. You know what I mean? Like, so they kind of ruined that. But yeah, you're right. You're right. But I'm just saying, like, what if one of these movie companies go to make it, like Blumhouse or something, and they just name it and the title's just not creative, you know? They're not going to call it Friday the 13th Part um 13 or 14 or nothing like that. They're just going to call it Friday the 13th, 2025. That's it. But it's basically going to be like the 13th one or the 14th. I think it's going to be the 13th one. So that's just a lot of people's concern, creating this with the titles because that's just the way it is today. It wasn't till the remake that they went basic. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, how like Scream 6 or like Scream 5, Scream 6, right? How those movies weren't as like they were, like the style of them were just not right. Bad character development all around. And you got the trilogy of the Halloween, you got Halloween 2018, which is good. Then Halloween Kills, bad. Halloween Ends, just a total disaster. Like, so I just wouldn't be surprised if they did that same old crap with Friday the 13th. And I just hope not, but I'm not going to expect nothing, too good when that if that comes out. But I really want that movie to come out. I want that movie to come back like so bad because it's been long overdue. Like I said, I should try to find it. Couldn't. You probably enjoyed it if you Martin. I would have a couple of interviews together. Yeah, I'll have to try to check that out. Um, Cause yeah, I always like hearing people talk about like Hollywood, how bad it is now, with these films. But yeah, Friday the 13th is, one of those franchises, man, that I just want back. It's been long overdue, and I want it back so bad already. Same like a nightmare. Like I said, I don't really get into that so much, but definitely want Friday back. So yeah, but yeah, Halloween is or Friday the 13th is definitely going to be a great. It's going to be, when that movie returns, depending on how much they make, how much money or how much movies they make, which they'll probably make like a trilogy out of it, I'm assuming. Same with uh like Nightmare and all that as well. Like they'll probably more than likely make a trilogy if they come back with that. I feel I have a feeling Crystal Lake will be a good Jason Starr, but we'll be on internet. Yeah, there's actually this fan film about his father. His father, Elias, I believe it is. Elias Voorhees. His father. There's a fan film actually about him. Like, it's actually kind of funny because the person playing him actually did the stunt work for Jason in Friday the 13th part 6, which is C.J. Graham, I believe his name is. C.J. Graham. He was in the movie playing Elias, Jason's father, but obviously it was a fan film, so I had a feeling Friday the 13th movie will be basically Halloween Kills. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Like it's basically going to be like that. It's just going to be a copy, like a copy of the Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Like I don't want to see that. I want them to be creative. I forget who said it, but it would be amazing if they made his father Freddy Krueger as a hero. That would be kind of funny. Well, it's okay, man. Yeah, what I was basically trying to say is that it's basically going to be similar, like less, like the character development's probably going to be terrible. Like, and I don't want to say that. I hope it's not. Like Scream 6 and Scream 5, especially Scream 6, the character development was just bad. Like, or Scream 5, excuse me. Scream 6 was pretty good at, the character development was a little better, but not. Yeah, like Halloween and all that, like Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. It just wasn't creative. So I just have kind of worried that Friday the 13th is basically going to be in the same situation because that's just the way. I went James Gunn to write a big name horror franchise. His character writing is on point. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. And I don't know who that is, but the only writer that I know that's pretty good at writing movies, is Kevin Williamson. Kevin Williamson, excuse me. Um, which is somebody that I wish that we would have got more of, but I thought he was a pretty good writer, of the Scream. Obviously he didn't write Scream 3 because he was doing other projects, but he wrote Scream 1996, Scream 2, and Scream 4, which are pretty good, movies. But yeah, Halloween is what's your opinion on this, Blucka? I want to hear your opinion. Like what do you think about like who do you like more? Do you like Michael Myers more or do you like Jason more? Because I always say I like Jason or I like Michael Myers a lot more just because of the stalkiness of Michael Myers. Like Jason, like I like the franchise overall. I mean, it's the franchise is good overall. Like I said, a lot of good films, um, in the franchise. But for me, it's just like Halloween is like something about Halloween is just so much like better. Just Michael Myers, just the stalkiness of him, the fact that he could pop out anywhere. There's a reason why I like him a little bit more than Jason. I don't really like care for Jason like that personally, just because you kind of know that he's coming. Like he just could be coming after you, and you just know. But Michael Myers, you just kind of you could just he could like come out of nowhere, like behind a door. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, something about that I like a lot more than Jason. I never really got into him as much. Like I like the Friday the 13th franchise, of course. I don't hate it, but I've always preferred Michael over Jason. Jason is pretty brutal though. I will say that. In terms of brutalness, Jason's better. But in terms of who's scarier, Michael Myers is, you know, better. You know. I said like Michael is better than the foundation. Yeah, I would say yeah. In terms of brutalness, Jason's better. In terms of who's the scariest, Michael Myers is better. Example, Jason doesn't take himself serious, which he could do more with. Yeah, Michael's about being as evil and scary. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Michael is more of like a evil. He's evil, and he just like Jason. The reason why Jason kills is because um the camp counselors basically let him drown. It basically kills people out of revenge. So that's why he basically kills, especially at Camp Crystal Lake. That's why he kills counselors because he's basically trying to get revenge. And then Michael Myers obviously is just psycho. He's a psychopath. Jason is literally a parody of Michael, but he is a far more entertaining character because it seems like boxer. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Jason's got a lot of entertaining. Like I said, Jason. I think in terms of like kills, he's far more entertaining than Michael. But like I said, in terms of who's the scariest, Michael's definitely, Michael definitely takes the cake for that. But Jason definitely entertaining. Like he'd be ripping people's arms off. Like he said, that roof, you know, that boxer scene, and Jason takes Manhattan when he punched that guy's head off, and it went into the trash, the dumpster. Like stuff like that. It's crazy. Even as Jason X, when he put that girl's face in that and froze her head or whatever, he just smashed her head. Like that's brutal there. Like that's pretty entertaining. And he'll punch your head off, he'll rip your arms off, he'll rip your legs off, he'll gouge your eyes out, like he'll snap your neck. Like it's just Michael Myers is or Jason's got a lot of creative ways. He's more creative, I guess. I should say in terms of killing. You know. I'll say that Jason his intro scene of remake would be pretty scary, but it was such limited content, so can't get rid of. Yeah, exactly. He runs up and puts a machete through the dude's head, then uses his boot to pull it out. That is the most brutal we've seen Jason. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, that one scene where he uses like the bow and arrow, or whatever, and the remake, that was pretty brutal too. I mean, Jason's just something about him is just brutal. In this fan film, I watched, he literally this dude literally like grabbed like a rock and he like smashed it on somebody's head. Like I was like, damn, Jason is really just brutal. Like he's really entertaining. You know, he's fun to watch for sure. And bow and arrow scene was pretty cheesy, which is your first. Yeah, I agree. But that was pretty crazy still. I mean, that's even when he threw that axe. You know how hard it would be to somebody at one shot with that bow and arrow and a bow going proper with it. Exactly. That would be very difficult. Also, the arrow should have went through his ear, not his eye. He was on the side. Yeah, I know. But Jason, man, he's just pretty brutal, you know. I think he's the most brutalist, like out of all the icons, probably by far. People say, well, Jason and Michael, like who would win? Like Jason would probably outdo Michael because he's more of a zombie and it seems like more stronger. But at the same time, if you're putting Rob Zombie's Michael Myers against, let's say, like the remake Jason, the Rob Zombie and Michael Myers is gonna whoop remake Jason's ass. I'm sorry, like Rob Zombie's Michael Myers was just really brutal. Definitely would probably beat remake Jason in a fight. I should read like that. I don't let it rude. I just say those things and say it like see what for that Jesus. Yeah, I feel you. To be compared to opening scene deadlines and to the Bruno him and then how unrealistic teasing monster. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, Rob Zombie Michael is probably like one of my favorites. Like, okay, don't get me wrong, like the Rob Zombie's Michael Myers, he was pretty damn good. Like the look of him, the mask, and all that, just his height. Okay, that's pretty damn brutal, which I don't really mind. It was just them copying, the original movie, rehashing the same scenes, which I had a problem with. Um, obviously, but that's basically the only problem. I like the look of the look of Michael Myers in that movie, both of the films, but more like the first one. Um, but yeah, like I just think that Rob Zombie's Michael Myers would definitely whoop remade Jason's ass, like because he was just that damn brutal. Like, Like if he had Rob Zombie, Michael Myers and kill and remove the house with mom stuff, that would have been. Oh yeah, it would have been really brutal. I agree with that. I agree with that. Especially if they cleaned up the editing errors, like that truck scene with the nurses. Yeah. Yep. Okay, that was brutal. Okay, that was really brutal. Like he literally grabbed a glass. He started like cutting off his head. Like it's like holy, that's like something that Jason would do. You know what I mean? That nurse jumped out of the window and teleported to the end of the street with the pistol. I know that's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy, man. Yeah, Rob Zombie's, one thing I will say about Rob Zombie's films is that he did add, the brutal elements to his films, that's what I liked. Because, I think the kills are pretty entertaining, like for the most part. But a lot of people found them a little bit too, like, gory at times. But me, I didn't really mind it. I didn't really mind it. Like, I thought it was pretty entertaining. It was just like the story, like the Dr. Loomis character, which they made him look like an asshole. You know, like Dr. Loomis was never like evil whatsoever. Like, that's probably the only problem that I had, and also, the rehashing of the original movie. You know, those are like probably my only like issues. My only issues with it, but other than that, like the kills for the most part are pretty entertaining. Um, Pretty entertaining and really brutal, like very brutal. That one girl hit Michael with a bag of bricks and ran away. And next time, see her, she's all beat up. Yeah, I know. Rob Zombie's films are just like okay, like I don't like them. I think number two is by far the worst. But Michael Myers, I like the brutalness of him for sure. And I also like the fact that we got to see Michael Myers as like a kid. We didn't get to see that before, so that was pretty cool to see. We got to see him as like a kid and all that. Like, I didn't mean Lewis, number one, but two I can't remember. Um, Part one he was just bad. I think part two he was bad as well, but I think part one was just like that made him look like an asshole. You know, they absolutely made him look like an asshole. Like all of a sudden everybody's out to kill him and all that. Like he's like writing books about Michael Myers and all that now. So all of a sudden he's just evil. That's something I just didn't like because Dr. Loomis, when Donald Pleasance played Dr. Loomis, Dr. Loomis was never like that, like in the originals. Like, was never evil, never wrote books about Michael Myers. Like, I understand, but yeah, even if Rob Zombie was going doing his own thing, still, man, like that's just no, that's just a that's a slap to the face to the character of Dr. Loomis in my eyes. Um, Yeah. Even if John Carpenter even if John Carpenter gave him, the permission to do whatever he wanted, with the movies, he still Rob Zombie still went so far. He went too far, I think. With that, as far as explaining too much about, Michael. Like I didn't really mind the whole prison sequence, of Michael Myers. I mean, I like that, but it was just that one part, uh, like I said, with Dr. Loomis, the way they portrayed him in the movie, it was just it just wasn't right. They made him look like an asshole, straight up. And also, obviously, the rehashing of the 1978 film, basically copying the scenes and the characters from that film. I like the sheriff a lot more. Yeah, you like the sheriff in the RZ movie than the original. Yeah, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say they like uh, what's his name? His name is um, you talk about Sheriff Brackett, right? I think that's what you're talking about. You like the Rob Zombies version of him more than you do the original? Oh, I understand what you're saying. A lot of people prefer that, I guess. I'm better done with the Yeah, but Loomis in number part one, I believe it was, or part two. I believe it was part one, where they basically betrayed him to be like some evil prick, somebody that he wasn't, like, especially like the original films. Like he was never like that. Like even if John Carpenter said, hey, you could do whatever you want, with the movies, he still went overboard with Dr. Loomis's character. I'm sorry. That was just that was dirty. I'm sorry. That was dirty. I can't forgive him for that. Like that was just dirty. That's probably the only thing that I had a problem with was Dr. Loomis' character just too much of a dickhead. you know, Dr. Loomis was never like that by no means. Such good. What's up, Michael Joe? How you doing, man? Thank you for popping in. We're gonna be going for a little bit longer here. I love speculating about stuff and just talking about horror movies. In a room of Ghostface, the killer and Ghostface the star. Oh, Ghostface the stoner. How you doing, Michael? That's great. Sheriff Brackett or something. Yeah, Sheriff Brackett. Yeah, Sheriff Brackett was in 1978 Halloween, and then they obviously did a rehash in Rob Zombie's films of 1978. Well, the first one, anyways. That's basically the problem that I had. That basically had like a role reversal, like different actors playing the original characters, which I don't care for that. Like if you're gonna make your own movie, just go your own direction. You know, without rehashing same stuff. Without rehashing the same act. The same characters. It felt more real than in your head in the 70s version. Um, a lot of people felt like that. A lot of people preferred the Rob Zombie version more than the original, which I could respect that. Definitely respect that. I want to see Michael go after new groups of people, do groups of kids, and go to a new town and find a new babysitter. Yeah, that would be cool for him to go maybe to like a new town or something. I always thought about that because if you notice, like Jason's probably like the only, oh, obviously the leprechaun too. Um, but they did a Jason movie, obviously in Manhattan, and then obviously they did a Jason movie in space, Jason X, and then the leprechaun. I think they did him in space as well, and also did a movie about him in like the hood. So that was pretty funny, kind of weird, but that'd be kind of funny if they did one, with Michael in the hood or something. Or I've seen rumors that they're doing TV series called Haddonfield. Oh, really? I've actually heard that they're trying to do a Friday the 13th series as well. But man, if they do a Halloween series, oh my gosh, that's gonna be awesome. I think a lot of these franchises need to be like TV series as well, you know? I think Halloween needs a TV series, and so does Friday. I don't know if that's very interesting. I did not know that because it and it too are the highest selling. Yeah, yeah, they are. They are, but I prefer the original It movie over It 2. It 2 is just not. I don't know. It 2 is just not for me, I guess. The actor is just too over the top for me. I prefer, Tim Curry as, Pennywise personally. That's just me though. I never really got into if Tim Curry's health didn't really take an impact on him. I'm sure he would have, came back, but now he can't, sadly, because of his health. But welcome to Derry, Crystal Lake. I don't feel. Yeah, yeah. I heard rumors about Crystal Lake. Heard rumors about Haddonfield. Um, I can maybe see Michael go to the hood. Yeah, I can maybe see Michael go to the hood. I know that would be hilarious. That'd be absolutely hilarious if they did a movie with him in the hood or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's just that's just my opinion on that. I think that would be kind of funny. Or even like a Jason movie in the hood. But Jason's been all over. Jason's been to New York. He's been to space. So Michael Myers is the only one that hasn't been anywhere else but Haddonfield. Get revenge on Busta. I want to see that book for sure. I want to see it as well. Have Joe Grizzly and LL Cool J come back. Oh my gosh, Joe Grizzly and JLL Cool J. You're talking about Joe Grizzly and Rob Zombie's Halloween, and then obviously LL Cool J and H2O. That would be pretty cool. Or LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes, both together, like two rappers. Bill Skarsgård is better. Uh, I have to disagree with you on that, Michael. I'm sorry, but I'll have to disagree with you on that. For me, I just prefer Tim Curry over because Tim Curry he's the original, you know, and it's just like the new actor is just not for me. I guess I don't know. I prefer Tim Curry a lot more. But Bill Skarsgård, I mean, was he okay? I mean, yeah, I guess. But I find, I prefer Tim Curry a lot more than him. I was your Curry more, but Bill was amazing. Yeah, yeah, he was. I mean, he had some good moments. I kind of want to see Michael go to New York, like Michael Myers takes Manhattan. That would be pretty epic. Or Michael Myers goes to Hollywood. Well, no, because I think H2O was in Hollywood, so I guess you can't really count that. I think New York would be pretty cool. Or maybe like the Hood. Because, yeah, he's the only one that, stayed in Haddonfield. They didn't take him out of Haddonfield or anything. All the movies are based in Haddonfield, so it'd be kind of something different if they decided, to do another city. Myers left Haddonfield in H2O. Hold up. You're right. You're right. I forgot about that. Because yeah, H2O wasn't in Haddonfield. I think like the beginning was. The beginning was, but he ended up leaving Haddonfield and going to Hollywood because that's where H2O, where that mansion was. So yeah, you're right. But I'm just talking about like the movie, like the whole movie, like based around him going to like another city, like him maybe going to like New York or something, like Times Square or something. I went to see Michael Myers recovery engineer. Coming, I remember the society of over in the mass to that. Yeah, yeah, for sure. That'd be that'd be pretty hilarious. I'm such a troll. Can you imagine Michael wearing a wedding mask, a welding mask? You see her, and you piss him off, not knowing who it is, and he pulls it off. He pulls it up and gets down to it. Oh my gosh, that would be terrifying. Let's say he's just wearing a welding mask, he just unmasked or whatever, and then you don't know it's him. Like that would be pretty damn terrifying. I think H2O was. Yeah, it was. It was in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, California. So I guess to be fair, he did leave Haddonfield for a little bit, but he didn't totally leave Haddonfield like for like the entire movie because the first half was in Haddonfield, and then he ended up leaving. I just want a movie with him in like another city, like had like the whole movie be based around like kind of like Jason Takes Manhattan or something, like be similar to that. Or, like I said, Michael Myers in the Hood, and then that would be, like I said, pretty funny. Oh, how's it going, Wayne? Thank you for popping in. It's he says it's 1:19. It's 1:19 Tuesday here at Sydney, Australia. Oh, yeah, there's. I forgot you're a different time. Well, I appreciate you popping in again as always. Um, Thank you for popping in. It means a lot. And yeah, I realized. Yeah, yesterday you were saying that you're on a different time because you live in Australia. So can you see Michael go to Metro outside the U.S.? Uh, I don't know about outside the U.S. I think that he would mainly go somewhere like I said. Um, he's basically been to Hollywood or in Los Angeles already, so that's where H2O takes place. Um, but if I had one city that he could go to, it would definitely probably be New York or, like I said, like the Hood. Like do something like in the Hood, maybe like in the Hood in Los Angeles or something like that. Like, that would be pretty epic. Like maybe like a movie like in Compton or something, and it's a Halloween movie, but it's in Compton. Now that would be or Harlem or something. That would be pretty epic. He just kills all the Crips. H2O had to explain why he left and did it. Yeah, yep. I believe the collective earlier they talked about AI. Oh yeah, they were talking about AI. AI would have wrote Scream 6 better. I know. I would say AI would have wrote Scream 6 a lot better. That's hilarious. I think so too. I think AI would have wrote Scream 5 better. Oh well, they did. Yeah, they did earlier in the stream. They were doing a on the Lethal Collective stream. They were talking. They were saying that AI could write six Scream 6 way better. Like ready the hard copy of Friday, Friday, Jason in the Hood. Yeah, that would be awesome too. Like I said, either Michael Myers or him. But Michael Myers really never got to do that, so I think it would kind of be cool for him to like I said, go to like the Hood, like Compton or something. Like, I don't know if you know where Compton is. That's in L.A. That's like where like the Crips and like the Bloods, or that's like where the Bloods are, I believe, or maybe the Crips. I think it's the Crips, maybe. But that'd be kind of crazy if they did a Halloween movie there. Like, and Michael Myers could just take out all the Crips. He could take out all of the Bloods. Reddit, the Reddit, the strict Reddit, all that, and every using AI. Did they talk about that, or was there? No, they were just saying that they were just talk. They were just saying that AI would have wrote Scream 6 a lot better. That's what they were saying. Michael Myers and Sydney. Hey, that would be pretty cool. I could see Michael going to New York. Yeah, me too. That'd be cool to see him like go to like Harlem or something though, or something like that. That would be kind of hilarious. The first part, Booker is a writer's strike. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I sadly no Craven, Man, but the other were there. Yeah, Craven was not there sadly, but we got to see Jake, Fate again. I haven't seen Fate in so long, and Night, obviously. Michael Myers and Strays and Jason in the Hood. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I think either or would be funny, but I think it would be funny for him to like kill like I said like the Crips and the Bloods. Like Michael Myers could definitely kill all Crips and Bloods. Oh yeah, he can. Same with Jason. Jason could too. Michael Myers definitely could too. They need to remake Universal Soldier and have another ear necklace character. LL. I would watch it just for that. Yeah. Yep. For sure. Fate the sports channel. Yeah. I know he does sports channels, but I didn't know that he um what I didn't know is that he's committed more to a sports channel than his horror channel or his Fate Decided channel. Like so I guess he's been doing his sports channel a lot more, I guess. They will probably shoot Michael bullets and don't put him down. Yeah, they'll probably just try to shoot him. That's it, and that's not going to do nothing. Same with Jason. Jason bullets don't do nothing to him. Like Jason would absolutely destroy all of them. Same with Michael. Look at the head of the subreddit Universal Soldier Saber. Yep. Yeah, the boss that attacked Universal Soldier Saber was the Bill Goldberg one. Oh, I never heard of that movie before. Is it any good? Sports decided that his shadow they said like the Lakers in the NBA conference finals. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's actually very, very, very interesting. That's very, very interesting, man. Like I knew that he had a sports channel. Uh, obviously, as it stands, that's his channel name. He does. He talks about the Lakers and all that. I've seen that he was doing that. But I noticed that he wasn't really posting on his Fate Decided channel as much. So I was wondering, is he more committed to that than he is his horror channel now? Like, because that's what it seems like. That's what I'm thinking. I think Fake started losing viewers for saying negative things about Scream 6. Oh, wow. I did not know that. Like, I know that he's not on the Stew train, but I didn't know that he would lose views over that. So he lost views for saying negative stuff about Scream 6 and also not being on the Stew train. That's interesting. So maybe that's why he's quit posting on his channel, more than likely. I don't really know. I'm not gonna like speculate or nothing. Where has the sports community grew like crazy, and not just fans of Lakers, but all sorts of clashing personalities that can not take it. Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, that take a lot of stuff. Like that's very interesting about him. Like I said, but maybe he's getting a lot more views now though. Like a sports channel to probably like crazy, crazy like get a lot more views. Universal Soldier there too. And, oh, I never heard of that before. Never heard of it. You're talking about the wrestler Goldberg and the wrestler Dolph Ziggler? Is that who you're talking about? Or I don't know the analytics, but I think he started losing viewers. You have to ask him. Yeah, that's really crazy because I know that he's not really on the street train or thing like that, but that's crazy that people would just not watch his videos no more after even after that. It's like he's a great friend in the community, and I'm always gonna support him, you know. So sports channels are booming. Oh yeah, I bet they are. I bet they are. They are booming though. I'm not gonna lie about that. And I actually got another channel too. It's called Inside the End Zone. I don't really post on it as much, um, because I'm more into my because I'm a football fan. I love football, but I basically am more dedicated to my horror channel because this channel, you know, I don't have as much subscribers on that channel. The channel name is Inside the End Zone. Uh, so that's basically why I haven't been posting on my football channel. Like I'm a football fan. I love football. Football is my favorite sport. Like I don't really get into basketball all that like all like that, but I like it, but not as much as I do like football, you know. So I do have an all football channel called Inside the End Zone, which I talk about just college football, NFL, but I talk more about college football more than NFL. He is really passionate about both categories, which is great for him. Oh yeah, he's passionate for both of his channels, I'm sure. Yeah, during one of his sports live streams in summer, I think he got five, 6.5K viewers. Oh yeah, I seen that. I was actually joining a lot of his streams as well. When he was doing those Lakers streams, even when he was watching, NFL games. Because I'm a football fan, I'm just, like it's something about basketball. I just never really, I don't know. I just never ever really got into it. Like I like it, but not as much as I do um basketball. Not to get too far off topic off of the horror talk, but I just wanted to say like I just love football. Football is just I don't know. I just feel like it's funner to watch because the tackling, you know, it's just it's just funner to me. I don't know. The tackling and all that's fun. Yes, the wrestler Goldberg. No Dolph Lundgren. There's a oh. Yes, I know who Dolph Lundgren is. He played Ivan Drago as well in Rocky Four. So that's who I basically know him from. Like that's basically the movie that I know him for is Rocky Four. But I never watched him in any other movies. I know he's a pretty good actor though. I've heard a lot of but I know him more for Rocky Four, the Ivan Drago character. If the Lakers lose conference finals, fate will lose his viewers of the channel. In fact, when NBA season ends, his channel will dip heaps. Yep, probably. He'll probably end up moving back to his channel. See, like me, I'm more of like a Warriors and a Bulls fan. You know, I'm really big on the Warriors. Like the Warriors are. A lot of people say they're overrated and all that because Steph Curry is good and Klay Thompson's like Steph Curry's, the greatest shooter of all time, and Klay Thompson is also one of the best. But the Warriors are just they're gonna make the playoffs, I'm sure. I haven't been watching too much basketball, but they've made the playoffs quite a bit. His channels actually gain viewers in the off season because he has streamed their games. Yeah, right. But yeah, so any of you know Dolph Lundgren? Like, what's your favorite role of him? Like, not to get too far, obviously, of off horror villains or horror horror villains, horror movies. Excuse me. what's your like? What role do you guys think like? What role did you like? What role do you think Dolph Lundgren did really good? Like, what's your favorite role that he like? What's your favorite movie that he was in? That's just the one question I want to ask. I don't want to get too far off of horror, like I said. I don't want to like change the subject too much, but yeah, Drago. I know him, best for Ivan Drago and Rocky Four. I never watched any of I don't never watched any of his other movies before, so I really don't know. The only movie I really know him in is Rocky, and then obviously Creed 2. Hell no, Blanca. He was guilty pleasure for me. I can't lie. I forgot. I saw. I said 8 times. Oh wow! Imagine a horror villain sports team. That would be kind of funny. Dolph for me is the ear collector in Universal that was so awesome. And Drago and Rocky. Yes. Drago and Rocky. Yes. Ivan Drago. Yes. That's awesome. Yeah. He's my, I think his role, the Ivan Drago character, was just probably one of my favorites. That's like my favorite Rocky movie. If he dies, he dies. Yep. Exactly. That line right there is just, I support the origin. Yep. Yep. Like I said, I like the Bulls, but I also like the Warriors. I don't really have a just one favorite. I basically got like two favorites. And plus, I don't really get into it as much. So, Ivan and Rocky 4, yeah. Yep. If he dies, he dies. Not to keep getting off topic, but Wayne, do you think that he hit Trade out here? Yeah. I feel like he an amazing acting, but his screen credits. Oh, yeah. He's a pretty underrated actor. I never watched any of his other movies before. Um, yeah, I don't think I've ever watched any of his other movies. I think that's the only movie that I've watched, and then obviously Creed 2. But anyways, I don't want to get too far off topic here, talking about other genres and all that, because this is a horror channel, and I'd like to keep it just the horror. Um, so I don't want to get like too far off topic. If you know what I mean. But yeah, out of any other genre, horror is just my favorite, and this is why I'm more passionate about this channel than I am. Well, don't get me wrong, I like sports. I like sports. All right, I like football, obviously, but talking about horror, like horror movies, is it's just like fun to me, you know. Like to talk about movie, like I should just make like a all just where I just talk about all movies. But honestly, I'm more familiar with horror, so I love I love this channel. I love thank you for thank you. I just want to thank you all for supporting me on the channel. Because when like I said, I just love talking horror with y'all, man. You guys have good ideas, good, you guys always come up with good conversations. Um, I just love talking about Scream, Halloween, you know. I think my favorite modern actors are. Oh, that's fair. Infinity Pool is open. Oh, Infinity Pool. Yeah, my favorite actor has to be probably okay. Like I think Nev Campbell is underrated. I think Daniel Harris is underrated. I think um Jamie Lee's like one of the best. Definitely Nev Campbell is pretty. I think she's like the most underrated. She's just a good actress. She was in a lot of good movies. There's this movie called Amish, I believe. It's like an Amish movie that she was in that I really liked. My favorite actress is Samara Weaving and Ryan Gunn, but she is getting to the point where she is out or there's a like what's the for what's her. Oh, yeah, Samara Weaving. Jenna Ortega is really great too. Jenna Ortega is really great. Samara Weaving as well, and even Melissa Barrera too. And they're all good. Question: how can you don't watch Jamie? Oh, the reason why is because I don't know. Sometimes I get a little bit, nervous sometimes, and you know how it is sometimes. So that's why I don't really show myself that much. That's why I see he does street as a character. Yeah, my goth is overexposed like that. I don't even know my goth. Jenna Teka has two roles in all movies. Guardian and Dead Plan. And declare good for. Yeah, Jenna Ortega is really great. Or Deadpan. Um, Samara Wee or Jenna Ortega is a really great actress. She's up and coming too, so she's kind of like young, which you like to see like young, actresses. Samara Weaving, yeah, different done that. Samara is just a well-rounded. Yes, she is. She is. She did a good job in Scream 6 as well, I think. She never disappoints. Nope. Put your face there. Hey man, if you want to see my face real quick, the reason why I usually don't show my face is just because I think it's a little better just to talk like that, just with the, you know. I got the new Harry Potter start for this. Harry Potter is oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Spider Mayhem with that. Oh yeah, she's in The Walking Dead as well. Huh? How old are you guys? Wow, you guys are older than me. I'm only 24. Gonna be 25 in 2 months. I think people never get to say positive things about movies. So you guys should consider you're so lucky today. Yeah, yeah. I'm 34. Damn. Lucky you're 34. I'm only 24. I'm only 24. And then Wayne is 46. Jeez. I'm the youngest here. Well, I don't know how old Michael Joe is, but I think he left. Wayne, Detective Bailey, or lucky you guys. I lit 25, so. I'm almost 25. I'll be 25 in just a couple months. Wayne, Detective Bailey. I'm Danny, and you're Ethan. I think Wayne would be a good detective. Yeah, let's go make a better movie because I think we can. I think us and the Lethal Collective can make a way better movie. My acting would suck like Bailey's. Nah, I think you'd be far more better. Look at the Sydney content. Imagine Ghostface riding a crocodile on the chase scene. That would be hilarious. Riding a crocodile. That would be hilarious. He would probably get eaten by the crocodile. I immediately think that crocodile is a crocodile trainer. Yeah, I just think that he would probably get tore up by one. Like a crocodile would probably eat him. I hardly worked the days could have live right, never work, have money saved, don't spend a lot. Yeah, yep, for sure. Me too. Well, y'all, I think I'm gonna be signing off here. I've been going for 2 hours now. The 2 hour mark. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your night. Um, thank you to Blanca, Wayne Turner, and um, Michael Joe for coming in tonight. Really had a blast with you guys just talking. Um, women here are crazy too. Oh, I bet. Come to Canada. Shit, that's funny. Michael Joe Grizzly. Michael Joe Grizzly. That's funny. So let's take and speak to people by the way. uh, that's funny. That's the way to live, Wayne. Yep, that's the way to live for sure. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna be getting signed off here. Thank you, Blucka, Wayne Turner, Michael Joe, or Michael Joe Grizzly, for for coming on the stream tonight. Um, I really appreciate you guys. Seriously, like I said, hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. Um, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Be sure to check out or look out for another stream, probably tomorrow again. We'll see what happens because I love just coming on here just talking with you guys. But I'm gonna be hopping off here for the night. Been on for 2 hours, so hope you guys have the rest of your night. See you on the next one, and God bless. See ya.